Hey everybody, and welcome to another review on my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars set called the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. This is set number 75396. It comes with 558 pieces and is recommended for ages 9 and up. And we're going to kick off this review by taking a look at the minifigures that come in the set, starting with the 25th anniversary figure, 9nub. And overall, I think this is a rather impressive looking minifigure. I love the detail on the chest and leg printing, and the figure also has his own exclusive molded piece to represent the alien's head. I do think that this figure would have benefited from dual molded legs or some leg printing, however, to represent the character's boots. As we make our way around to the back of 9nub, you can see that he does come with some back printing as well that I think looks pretty great for what it is. Something that I would have liked to have seen included with this figure, which LEGO doesn't do, is some side leg printing to represent the character's holster. Because when we make our way back to the front of 9nub, you can see that he has some printed detail of a leather holster that wraps around his legs, but there's no place to put his blaster. But again, this is something that LEGO doesn't do, but I do feel like it is a missed opportunity. Like with all the other 25th anniversary figures, 9nub comes with this really nice printed base that features R2 and a LEGO brick that says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. And I think 9nub looks really great when he's standing on top of his anniversary base. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Luke Skywalker that is included in this set. And I think this is a pretty decent looking minifigure. He does have some chest and leg printing that flows together and lines up very well. There is no arm or foot printing on this figure, which I don't think is necessary to its overall design. I think the hairpiece they used for Luke looks pretty good and is pretty accurate to what it's trying to depict in the scene. And as we make our way around to the back of Luke, you can see he has a pretty detailed back print as well. And overall, it's decent for what it is. Luke also comes with a second facial expression and his green lightsaber as an accessory. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Han Solo figure that is included. And I think this is a pretty good looking minifigure. I love the shirt print detail. There is no dual molded legs or printing to represent the boots that the character wears, which I feel like is a little bit of a missed opportunity. There is also no arm printing on this figure, but I don't really think it needs any. And as we make our way around to the back of Han Solo, you can see the figure comes with some back printing as well. Han Solo also comes with a second facial expression and handcuffs as an accessory. And I do like the overall look and design of this facial expression, as he has just been recently released from Carbonite. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Chewbacca minifigure that is included. And this is the same Chewbacca minifigure we've gotten from sets in the past, so odds are you probably have this guy. But I still think that this is a pretty good looking minifigure. I love the printed detail on the legs and the mold for the upper torso for the character. If I have to be nitpicky, I do think it would be nice to see some sort of printed detail on the character's arms to represent fur. But as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see it still looks really great. Chewbacca also comes with some handcuffs as an accessory. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Lando Calrissian in his Skiff Guard uniform. And I think this is a really great looking minifigure. I love all the detail on the chest and leg prints. And you can see that Lando comes with a pretty good looking helmet piece as well. As we make our way around to the side of the figure, you can see that there is no arm printing, which I don't think is necessarily too big of a deal. And as we continue to make our way around to the back of Lando here, you can see that he does indeed come with a pretty detailed back print that I think looks pretty great overall and has some really good detail to it. Lando does come with two different facial expressions. The first one here has some smiling. And as we take the figure and spin him all the way around to the back, you can see that he does come with a second facial expression that depicts him with a more straight face. Lando also comes with a weapon as an accessory. The last minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Boba Fett. And while I do feel like this figure does have some really good printed detail, I have to admit I'm highly disappointed that he doesn't have his cloth pauldron piece. As we turn the figure around to the side, you can see he has some pretty good arm printing there as well, which looks really great. And as we continue to spin the figure around, you can also see that he comes with a jetpack as well that is covering up a relatively good back print, which we'll be taking a look at in just a second. There's also a little bit of controversy with this figure because this is the incorrect Boba Fett that is not depicted in the actual scene. The Boba Fett that we're taking a look at right now is actually from the movie Empire Strikes Back, and the Sarlacc pit scene that is inspired by this set is in the movie Return of the Jedi. And while this is a really great looking minifigure, I do think it is a little bit of a letdown that we have the incorrect figure as a whole. Removing the helmet and jetpack of Boba Fett, we can get a good look at his facial print, and as we spin the figure around to the back, we can get a good look at that pretty detailed back print I was mentioning a minute ago. I don't think this is a bad figure, it's just the incorrect one. Boba Fett also comes with a blaster as an accessory. With all the minifigures out of the way, we're going to talk about the two builds that come in this set, and we're going to start with the Sarlacc pit, which I think is actually a really solid looking build that has a lot of potential for displayability as well as playability for kids. Picking up the Sarlacc pit and looking directly into it, you can see that there's actually a lot of really good looking detail here. And one thing that I appreciate about this build is the asymmetry with the teeth inside of the pit. I think it gives it a more naturalistic looking feel. I also think using black at the very bottom of the pit gives it a little bit more depth than it would have if it was just plain brown. We can also grab the Sarlacc pit and spin it all the way around. In doing so, we'll reveal two little gray knobs found on the back of the build. And rotating these two knobs will allow the arms, tentacles, extremities of the Sarlacc pit to move around. Whatever they are, I think this play feature is implemented very well, and I think it's going to be a great feature for kids. Unfortunately, you have to manually open and close the mouth of the Sarlacc, and for me personally, I would have liked to have seen some kind of feature that you have to pull back on to allow the mouth to open and close without having to use your fingers. Obviously, I don't want to get bitten. Another design choice about the Sarlacc that I like is it's actually big enough to hold a minifigure inside. This, of course, is going to be a key feature for this set, and I think it's implemented well. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about the Desert Skiff. which has a really solid and sleek looking design and I think is implemented almost perfectly into brick built form. The front of the skiff has a really sharp and tight looking design, and just overall has some really good shaping. Taking a look at the back of the skiff, you can see there's actually some pretty good detail for the thrusters as well. The skiff does come with a couple of features. The right handrail can actually be moved out to the side to allow for more room for minifigures and to recreate some scenes from the movie. On the other side of the skiff, you're going to see this really small circle tan piece right here. This is to access another feature of the skiff. If you push it in and then we spin it around to the other side, you can see that the plank of the skiff has emerged. Both of the wing pieces found on each side of the desert skiff can be rotated around and also moved up and down, but I think this design choice is more of getting the angle of the piece rather than actual playability and movability of the vehicle. But I still think it is worth mentioning. And lastly, the detail on top of the skiff looks really great, and I love the mixture of studded and flat pieces. There is also plenty of room for all of the minifigures that are included in this set to ride inside of the vehicle. The LEGO Star Wars Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit retails for a whopping $80. I do feel like this is a little bit too much money for this set. I feel like this set should be worth more around 55 to 60 bucks. But I will say that putting the price aside, I do think it is a rather great looking set. Thanks for watching and be sure to like and subscribe for more brick built reviews.